Hi everybody. So this is a video I just thought of just now that I was like, if someone had done this, I would have really enjoyed it. So it's not quite ballet related, but since my ballet Instagram obviously uses a lot of pictures, I always like to know when people have really good ballet pictures and stuff, like what camera they used and stuff, because most of us adult ballet dancers at least don't have like professional photographers following us around to do stuff. So I love photography. I'm terrible at it because I've never like taken a class in it or anything. I just enjoy it and I enjoy having fun cameras and things. So I thought I would do a video of going through the different cameras that I use on occasion and what I like and don't like about them in case anybody's looking to buy a nice camera, things like that. But obviously a disclaimer is I am not like a photography master person. So I'm not an expert on this by any means. I'm just telling you based on my personal use of different cameras, what I have found works and doesn't work. So the one I'm using right now is the Canon G7X. So that's what you're seeing this on, which is amazing for filming. That's probably mostly what I would use it for, or if I just really wanted to take a super compact camera with me on a trip because it's like super flat and thin. It's still kind of heavy. And I like this flip up screen that it has so I can see what I'm doing. So it is nice for that. I'm probably gonna try and take it on my trip to California in 2 weeks to do some vlogging so I can kind of try and work on that because I've never really done much of that. But it's not like, it's a point and shoot. So it's not like a super fancy DSLR. You can't do all different like lenses on it obviously or anything. It's a point and shoot. As you zoom more and more, the images are gonna get more pixelated because it's digital zoom. It's not the optical zoom like something like this. But I do think that as far as picture quality, it does take very good pictures. It also takes super light pictures. So like I don't love when my pictures turn out super yellow and things like that. Like my iPhone gets super yellowy pictures. I don't love that. This camera, and even some of my other cameras do very yellowy pictures. This one, the quality turns out very lightened and white and bright, even if I'm downstairs in my room with a normal like yellow fluorescent light. Now I know if you know a lot more about photography and cameras in general, you I think can change some of that settings. So that's something I can look into on my other cameras, but I love that this one just naturally takes them that well. So that is very nice about it. So that's all I'm gonna say about this one. So this is again the Canon G7X. I believe there's a newer model now. I don't think the newer model has the flip up screen. So this is an older model that they don't, I think, actually like make anymore, so you just have to kind of find it. It is kind of expensive. I want to say a full priced one is probably around $600-700. I bought mine off eBay for like $300 I think, and it works fantastic. Just be cautious when you're buying off eBay if you do. So that's enough on that one. A lot of times I will use my iPhone for a lot of pictures, especially because I purposely went and got the new iPhone 8 Plus for the special camera features. So it has the dual camera lens. If you can see it, there we go. So, oh yes, that's my Taylor Swift pop socket there. But it does take amazing pictures. The portrait mode still has some issues that they're working out, so it's not fantastic because they tend to look a little blurrier and more pixelated unless you're in like super bright outdoor natural light. If you're inside, it's not the best. But in a pinch, this takes really good pictures, and I can just set it up on a tripod, like on a little phone tripod, and that's easy. A lot of times at ballet, I'm not pulling out my full camera. I will pull out this because it's just right there, and then I'm not as embarrassed to be having a camera out. So I'm gonna try on my Instagram pictures from now on and like put what camera I used for pictures, if it's like a nice picture. But next, this is a shame because it's an amazing camera. I just am not good at it, and I've never been able to figure it out. I've had this Nikon D7100 for gosh, 5 or 6 years now, and I bought a couple different lenses. I actually had a different one first. I had the D3200 and I ended up giving it to my little sister, but I have all of the main like lenses. I have a telephoto lens for this, and then this is the lovely 50mm lens, which is like the best for any photography. I just love 50mm. So I do love it, but it's huge and bulky. When I go to take pictures on this, it like immediately the pictures look super dull and not vibrant, and it's frustrating because then I have to go in and do a ton of editing in my camera or on my phone, whatever I use later. And it takes a lot to get it to my phone because it doesn't have like the Wi-Fi or anything. It's a little bit older model, so it doesn't have like the built-in Wi-Fi transfer function that newer cameras do, which is an amazing feature that you want to look for. So those features take your photos straight from the camera and do them straight to your phone. So if you do a lot of editing from your phone, which a lot of people do, that's super helpful. This, I have to go through, like take the USB card out, put it in a special adapter because my MacBook Air does not have an adapter for an SD card, and then take it to my MacBook to then take it to my phone. Or I did buy a while ago, and it works really well, an SD card adapter that you can plug into newer iPads, and then it will take the photos and put them straight on your iPad, which then is a little easier for me to get it to my phone because I still would prefer to do it on my phone. So there's that. But my biggest issue with it is like the size of it for one thing, but the fact that like right afterwards when I look in here and see pictures, they're not super vibrant. Let's see if I have any. Actually, it may not be charged. Oh, there's no memory card in here. That's a problem. So anyway, there's probably a way to change that so that when you look at them, they are super like, so this is like more what it looks like up close, but so that when you look at them, they are more, it's my nice lens. So I like to be able to really see what the picture is gonna look like right after I took it, like color-wise, everything. I don't want to have to do a ton of post-editing because I'm already usually editing a lot anyway. So that's a very, very nice camera. It was like probably, I want to say that was like a $900 camera or something. I got that one like partially for Christmas and partially I paid it myself. So, but that was like 5 years ago, and I tried so hard to use it all the time and bring it, but bringing that in a purse, this is a lot. Even though I carry a giant purse, this is a lot to carry. So that was also when I got that was back before there were a lot more options, because iPhone, that was probably back on the iPhone 5 maybe when I got that. The camera was not great in that phone. I wanted a good camera. And I had a friend who was a photographer who at the time was helping me kind of learn things, but then I moved and I never got to really learn more from her. So that was my whole plan for getting that camera. So next, this was my biggest breakthrough in cameras, and this is what I've probably used on like 90% of my Instagram photos, is this, which is a mirrorless 3 or 4/3 lens camera that has, so it's like a DSLR. It takes like lens changes, but it's mirrorless, so it is a like much smaller edition of this. The pictures like right away are super sharp. The colors are so vibrant. It has this giant screen on the back. It actually has a touch screen shutter so that you can kind of find your focus point, and then it'll take the picture just as you touch it, which is nice. It's kind of vintagey looking, which is what originally attracted me to it in the first place. This is the OMD EM10. So this model is from, I want to say 2014. So it's an older camera. When I bought it, I don't think I bought it used, but I bought it like 2 generations old so that it was cheaper. Because when I bought it, it was probably like $200 or $300, but like a newer one, they have the Mark III is the newest one, which I've never used, so I don't know much about it, is like $700, $800, I want to say, new. So this was much cheaper, but I instantly was impressed by the pictures this took. So I'll see if I can pull one up. So I'll keep talking while I find it, but there's just a lot you can do with this. This is one of those ones that has the nice feature where you can send the pictures straight to your phone, which is awesome. So basically I just select a bunch on the back, and then I will select the little, there's a Wi-Fi connector symbol, and then there's an app on the phone that's Olympus Share, I want to say, and the Canon one that I'm using, the G7X, has that feature as well. And then so you upload the photos straight from your camera to your phone, and then you can use them. That also allows you to have a wireless remote from your phone. So if you open the app on your phone, you can use it to wirelessly be a shutter for your camera, which is nice for like if you're trying to do a tripod thing where you're wanting to get no like camera shake from pressing the button, or if you're trying to use it as a remote, like where you're standing trying to get a picture of you, that's great. In addition to that comment, going back to my iPhone, I love using my Apple Watch as a shutter release because you can see the picture and then you can take it from your watch without having your phone right next to you, which is awesome too. Let me see if I can find a good one. Well, this has nothing to do with ballet, but I took a picture at my sister's police academy graduation, and just like out of I'm trying to see if you can see it. You may not be able to see it well, but like just the vibrancy of this picture. There we go. Like that's incredible. And that was, let me refocus here. So that was just straight, I just held it up and shot it. Now I did get a nicer lens for it. So this is the kit lens that comes with it, which is the 14-42. This one is interesting. It's manual, so that you have to like release it and then it'll unlock. So that's that. And then you use this to pull it back in. It does have a viewfinder and it has the screen. So you can use either. You can use the screen, which is what I 9 times out of 10 do, or you can use the viewfinder, which is really cool too. It has lots of manual settings. It also has lots of filters and art settings. I used to use a lot of those settings a lot more. I actually haven't recently, so I probably should start doing that again. But so it is an amazing camera. I did buy for it 2 lenses so far. This is and the nice thing about the 4/3 is that they like all fit the 4/3 cameras. So this is a Lumix lens, but it's great. This is the equivalent of a 50mm is the 17, I want to say is what this is. I think this is this is a 20mm. Sorry, it's 20mm. But it's got the lower f-stop so that you can get better, let's see if it'll focus. So this is what it looks like. So that you get those super sharp, blurry background pictures, which my camera right now is doing a good job of on video. So it's nice and tiny. It's much thinner too on the camera than the other one. So that looks nice. When I put it on there, it looks even more vintagey and cool. So, and then the other lens that I have bought for that is, my goal was to get a nice long zoom, like telephoto type lens. Let me take my little lens cap off here. This is an Olympus lens. It's a very big one, and it's a super long zoom lens. So this is the 40 to 150mm lens, which then is not the equivalent of a 40 to 150mm in a normal DSLR. You have to, I believe, double it. I haven't thought about this in a while. Either way, it's a really, really long zoom lens, a telephoto type lens. I will notice, so when I have this on there, it makes the camera much bigger, obviously. When I have it on this camera, it is harder to control the stabilization and to make the images clear and not as blurry. So it is probably meant more for a tripod. I was hoping to use it more for like action shots and things, or like at concerts and things, but I don't think that it's gonna be ideal for that. Just in the experience I've had, you have to like really stabilize yourself to hold it still. So I'll like brace my elbows on things and stuff, but it's not my favorite lens. My favorite is still gonna be that little portrait lens. This one's the 20mm there, or like on the Nikon, it'd be the 50mm. So this has been my favorite camera. So recently I decided I wanted to upgrade because this is older and I kind of heard it making some funny noises, like a motor kind of sound, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna die. And it's my favorite, and if it dies, I don't know what I'll do. So I've been looking into buying a different one. I wanted to stay in the Olympus family because I love it. I've had so many good just times with this camera and just good experiences with it. But I also was like, you know, I'm not sold on doing the OMD style again because this still works right now and I love it, but I wanted to try the pen models because they look so cool and vintagey. I really wanted the Pen F, but it's like $1,000 and I couldn't justify that because I don't know how much more it would make a difference. The Pen series does not have a viewfinder, so you have to use the digital screen. I got the brand new, it just came out this past month, Pen EPL9, which is the newer model from the EPL8. So it looks very vintagey. It's awesome. I love the color. Now I literally got this camera today, so I haven't done much with it. Feature-wise, it's very similar to the OMD. It's just a newer one, so it has the same pixel, 16 pixels, 16.1 pixels, which ironically is the same as my iPhone. So none of those pixel-wise are all that fancy. This is probably the better one for all of that, which is why it is a very nice DSLR camera. And that's why I still have it and haven't like sold it or gotten rid of it. This, I've noticed, my only complaint so far is this is much more like a point and shoot camera than it is like a mirrorless DSLR. I think this is still more advanced than this, yet this was really expensive. I debated getting the older model to save some money, but I thought, you know, at this point, if I'm gonna upgrade, I'd rather get the most recent model so that I'm not upgrading again because it's out of date. So this also has that feature of you can send pictures straight to your phone. Now this one does have, so on the OMD, the original OMD, I don't have the more advanced, the camera screen does this, which is helpful for like taking flat lays and stuff. This does same thing, so I don't know if you can see it, but then it does this. Now it comes below, so if you're using a tripod, you can't take like a tripod with the screen down, but it's good for like selfies and stuff. Either way, it's an interesting feature. It does have a built-in flash, so the EPL8 did not have a flash. This one does. So it's a little tiny thing, but it's there. And that's actually very similar to the flash on the Canon G7X. This one had, the flash is there. So much more similar to my Nikon flash. So back to this one, my only issue so far is that it seems to be not as smooth taking pictures. It's more jumpy. Sorry, my camera likes to shut off after 16 minutes, which is one of the problems with, I think that's any vlogging camera, but this G7X, like it gets to 16 minutes and it shuts off. So if I try to film a ballet class, it shuts off. It's very frustrating. Which is why half the time I film on my iPhone, and yeah, it says it can film in 4K, but it just doesn't get the great video quality that this camera does if I film with it. Anyway, back to this. So taking pictures, I've noticed today, just because I've only had it today, it's very, like, one, I don't love that it has this sound and I have to figure out how to turn it off. Oh, let me take the lens cap off here, sorry. But you can hear it. It makes a little beepy sound. And then when I take a picture, it's not your standard sound. Like, it's kind of more of a electronic shutter, whereas if I take a picture with the OMD, just put my lens out here. If I take a picture with the OMD, you can hear the shutter. And I like that about this one. Like, it makes it feel more like a real camera. So the pen EPL9 feels like it is more of a point and shoot than this one is, which I was not expecting. Like, this is again why I'm saying I wish someone had done a video similar to this, because I had a hard time comparing the models since the years were so far apart. And I never got I think when I got my OMD, the newest one out was already the OMD Mark II, and they're on the Mark III now. Okay, so that's really frustrating. I hate that with this Canon camera, as great as it is for filming videos, it likes to shut off after 16 minutes. That's also about how long the battery will last if I'm filming. So I bought, right out of the bat, 2 extra batteries just because, just off Amazon, but just so that I wouldn't have that issue. I also did that for my Olympus cameras as well. I went and bought an extra battery because I found those last a lot longer, but I was just going through them so much when I would be on trips or things like that, that I just wanted to always have a backup. So I will advise that for anything. But what, let me see if I can find. So this, I'm trying to think of what I was on before, but this camera takes really good pictures. And now my lenses fit both of these cameras, which is what's been really fabulous. This, interestingly, is the same exact lens on both cameras. So it's the 14-42 kit lens. This one came with this one and was more of a manual adjust it. This one's a lot more digital, like you slide it and it goes, or you slide it and it goes like that. Like, so it's so it's more digital, which again is like I'm trying to explain how it's more like a point and shoot than like a DSLR. So let me see if I haven't taken many pictures yet. I took this picture on it, so if you can see it. See if it'll focus. There we go. There we go. So it's not a bad picture at all. It's just different, and I kind of liked how this one feels more like an actual camera, and this feels more like a point and shoot. But it is thinner and lighter, and especially with my little lens on this, like especially if I just like pull the lens in, it is a much thinner camera. It's very aesthetically pleasing to look at. It doesn't have as many options up here either, so like I can control more on the OMD because it has more knobs and buttons to do different things with, if it'll focus. Come on. Okay, well, I don't know why it's not focusing, but there we go. So there's different knobs and stuff that do all different things. There's a lot more features. This has less, but it's still great. What I think I'll do here at the end is take the same picture on all of these different cameras to post at the end of this video so that you can see the difference in the quality, including on my Nikon. The other difference I've noticed is their ability to take pictures at night. This is awful for that. I have 1,000 messages. This is just not good in low light settings, and it's not meant to be. It's a smartphone camera. So that's one of the reasons to get an actual camera. The Canon G7X is actually really, really good in darker settings. I found that's, like I was saying earlier, how the photos end up. Like right now, like this video is so light. It is like sun is setting out there. It's getting pretty dark in here. I really should turn a light on in here. And you can still see me super clearly. All of these others, this has an excellent low lighting. Like, I won't even, this has an insanely high ISO. I don't remember what it is, but it's really good. And then this one still does really, really well in low lights, and it actually gets good like quality, like if you're trying to take like night portraits or fireworks or things like that. This does an amazing job. And I assume this would too. I have not used it yet, so that's gonna be a challenge, or not challenge, but just a new thing to try. So this is the iPhone 8, good focus, good color quality. This is in a mostly dark room, and then in fluorescent lighting in the last picture here. This is the Canon G7X, again, good quality, good lighting. You'll see it in a second here in the fluorescent lighting. Olympus OMD, I think, had the best quality, the best depth of field. This is with the kit lens. Now with the Nikon, I had a 50mm lens because I don't have the kit lens, so these were all taken with that, and I also had a hard time getting far enough away to take the picture and holding it still enough, so that's the difference there. And then back to the pen, this is again the kit lens, so the 40 or 14 to 42mm. Still good quality. I hope that kind of gives you an idea of different camera options. Now, obviously there's way more out there than that, but these are the ones that I use. And I'll try, like I said, now on my Instagram photos to label what camera I used, and I can even try and put the lens in there too if it's a different lens, but I don't have that many lenses to try. I mostly use that 50mm, that's about it on all of them. So I can't really think of anything else. If you have any tips for me, if you know cameras like super well and you have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, this is my take on the cameras that I use and what I like and don't like about them. I'm sure there's others that I haven't thought of, but that's kind of the main thing. So hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.